Welcome to The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
Trendy. I see you did not eat all of your sugar-free chocolates.
I did not.
Yet. You didn't want to poop yourself?
No.
How come it's so warm right here? Oh, it's your computer.
Is it?
Ooh, it's warm. Yeah, it feels good.
Oh.
My hands is chilly.
I'm all like thrown off with our new setup. Like the wires are by my legs.
This is beautiful.
Thanks.
I love it. We can
like
look
that
at each other. Look into my eyes.
So we went from long ways.
Yeah.
Or like, I guess, longer ways
Sit
to the other way.
sideways.
So we're kind of like sitting sideways.
We're sideways to
Yeah.
front facing. We went from side camera to facey. Selfie.
Facey camera.
Selfie camera.
Oh my gosh. So,
Happy Valentine's Day.
happy Valentine's Day.
I know we already did the Valentine's Day show, but today is actually Valentine's
We are
Day.
recording on Tuesday.
It's
Monday.
I was like, wait, what?
Wait,
I missed
what?
a whole
We
day.
normally record on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now we're recording because I have to go to Houston, like I just said.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So I was thinking about how Shannon listens to us.
Yeah.
And she listens to us fast. So I was thinking about how I would talk fast. So I'd be like, thanks for joining us. But I can't do it.
I can't, no. I can only talk as fast as I talk. That's as fast as I
My
talk.
brain, like, it has to think about what I say.
I've
and
been
that's why it
told by
takes so
people
long.
that I talk fast. And I don't think I talk that fast.
Obviously, we don't if Shannon has us on like 2.5.
I don't even know how you do that. I don't have that option. But she listens through her car, so
Yeah.
it has that option, I
Yeah.
guess.
And when I listen to us, I usually put us on like 1.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I run and it
You're
takes me
running
about
through.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
And our podcasts or our episodes are usually an hour.
Yeah, right.
So happy 1 year.
Yes.
Yay!
We're awesome.
We're here.
Thanks for sticking it out with us
A
for
whole
a year.
This is crazy. And I like your shirt.
Thank you. Where can you get it? Bonfire.com?
Yeah.
Bonfire.com
I
if you
know.
want to look as cool as I do.
So we're a little hungover from the
You say a
best
little.
host
I
in
say
the
a lot.
world. We had a little Super Bowl party at your
Yes,
house last night.
yes.
Bestie was there, and
was
a
fun.
whole house of besties,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Yes.
I thought that was a lot of fun.
We had a good time.
We did have a good time.
We had some kids over there to keep us entertained and dance at the halftime show
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Such a good halftime show.
So I searched the LA Rams
Yeah.
this morning just to
I know,
kinda
because
see
you
what
were
would
rooting
come.
for them. And we were
I
like,
was the
No.
yeah. I
Go
think Bud and I were the only
Cincinnati.
ones. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Bud
think-
was too?
Yeah, he was too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Kevy was, but no, I think he was going for Cincinnati. So.
I don't think Kevin knew what was going on. I saw him pull a little bottle of Jaeger out of it, and I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I couldn't find it, but I knew it.
Oh my gosh. So I was searching just so I could like learn some of the players and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got distracted because when you would go to search them, the fireworks would go off on Google.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Search. So still don't know anything about the LA Rams except for that they won last night.
Yeah. I don't know nothing about
And
that
what I
team.
really want to talk about is the food you had at your house. Can we talk about every dip? Now, I actually wrote it. See, you're going to see me looking at all my notes here because now that we're on YouTube, I write shit down.
We don't just wing it.
We
'cause
don't
we're on
wing it because I
camera.
need to know like, what
I
I'm
wing
talking
it.
about.
I wing it.
Well, I kind of like tell
I
you
just
a
go
little
off
bit.
you.
Yeah.
For somebody who was on a low carb diet, yesterday was a huge mistake for me.
I am paying for it today.
Yes. We had champagne.
Yeah.
Because we were celebrating, not only was it Super Bowl, but our 1 year at Clopen. I said, let's have some champagne.
Yep.
And we decided champagne gives us a headache.
Yeah, I texted you and Bestie this morning.
Yeah.
I said, champagne gives me a headache and dairy gives me the shits. How's your day?
Mark it down, Drew. We already talked about poop. We're about 4 minutes in.
Yeah, so that's how my day's been going.
So like I was saying in the beginning, I don't know if it's on YouTube. I don't think we were recording yet, but I texted my boss at about 11 o'clock last night, and I was like, not even going to lie, super fucking drunk, not coming to work tomorrow. Like, I should have known. Since I was hosting.
Quite a few people had Monday off. They had today off.
Yeah, I wasn't going to work today. And I saw the big boss approved it. So all good.
It's like a holiday. We were
It
talking
is,
about it at
yeah.
your house. It's just like everyone gets together. It's a holiday. So for years, until they added this extra weekend for the football season, we always celebrated my mom's birthday on Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So it was, we would always have great food and we would celebrate
Yeah.
her birthday because her birthday is February 3rd.
Yeah.
So we got to see her last week. So we had a party last week,
Yeah.
and then we got to have
Nice.
a party last night at your
Yeah.
house. So it's been like weekends of fun.
Yeah.
And I think this upcoming weekend I have a baby shower or something. So it's like seeing more people.
Wow, yeah.
So been a busy few weeks. But really, no, back to the food because
Oh God.
I have a stomach ache this morning, but every time I had a stomach ache, I was like, worth it. So we're going to go with Megan's Mexican dip.
Oh my God.
So good.
That was so good. It was like corn with
Yeah.
cheese and
2 different cheeses, I think she said. And she
Yeah.
kept saying stinky cheese.
which would have been the
Gruyere.
Gruyere.
Okay.
Gruyere.
Okay.
That's
And
a little
there's something
stinky.
else.
I think she had like pepper jack, Gouda.
That
and
was the red in
Gruyere,
there.
right?
So I
Yeah.
thought that she had put some red peppers in there, but that's from the pepper jack.
Pepper
So
jack.
that was really good.
Yeah.
And Diesel really liked it. Her dog.
My poor dog laid on the couch, hungover with us all day today.
I fed her dog all night long, and he would bark at me if I ignored him. He did it like 3 times. He looked at me, he's like, "Ruff." I'm like, oh, we have to walk back into the kitchen?
He knows.
Oh my
He
gosh.
knows. He knows. Yeah. If you feed him, he is up your ass until you feed him again.
Yeah, he didn't
and then
do that.
Feed him again,
but
and then feed him again.
He definitely barked.
Yeah.
It was just so cute. And he's so you just
I
want to
know.
like, just spoil
I
him.
know.
So, and then let's talk about Emily's spinach artichoke dip.
Oh my God, that was so good.
So first of all, she's just so resourceful. But she had the plastic in her
crock
crock pot.
Yeah.
So I know that she does this because when
Right.
she Snapchats us her dinners, it's always like that.
Yeah.
I've yet to buy any for mine.
Yeah.
I cleaned my crock pot.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I'm
don't
on the
think
fence
that
about
kind
the
of
crock
stuff.
pot liners. Sorry, bestie, but
Is it because it's plastic?
Yeah, I'm just weird about that.
I felt like hers was fine. Like it didn't melt.
It
or
doesn't.
anything.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And you would think with technology nowadays we shouldn't have to worry about that, but I don't trust that it's not. Technically you're not even supposed to drink water out of plastic bottles.
And I
because
also
it's
heard that
bad
you don't
for
want to leave them in your car during
Right.
the summer,
which
because
I do
of
all the
that.
time.
Who knows?
Yeah.
People
So,
on Friday, people are going to be texting us going, "It does not."
Yeah. All I'm saying is I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So
You always say
so
that.
be it. If I,
But hers, it was very good.
Oh, it was so good.
I asked her. It tasted so fresh that I actually asked her if it was fresh spinach or if she bought the frozen brick.
Yeah.
And she said it was the frozen one, but
Yeah.
that's how fresh it tasted. I
I
mean, she probably
love
just made it a
spinach
few hours
artichoke.
before she
Yeah,
came. So.
so good.
And then you had the pulled pork that
Pulled
I
pork.
didn't try, but I tried
Yeah.
the sauce. Very good.
Oh,
What sauce
did
you
you?
use in it?
Okay,
I'm
so
always
you know what
interested.
I did was Johnny had won. Okay, so Saturday I had to work, but Johnny went to meat raffle, and I met him up there at like the end of it. He won this pork tenderloin. It was like this long.
Oh, wow.
It was huge. So I cut a bunch of like thick pork chops out of it, and then you always get that roast end. So I just cut that up into chunks, and I put a shit ton of seasoning on it, like some Tony's. I have this one. We get our corn from Stotty's, as a local farm, and they had beer can chicken rub. Beer can chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
And I put a shit ton of that in there. I let that marinate overnight. When I put it in the Instapot, I put some, they're called cowboy candy, and it's the bread and butter pickled. It's like sweet pickled jalapenos.
Oh.
If you've ever had that.
No.
So I put like I had like that much in a jar. I dumped those in there. And then in the jar, I put like that much apple cider vinegar. Oh. And then swished it around and put that in there. That was my sauce.
Wow.
I didn't put any
amazing.
barbecue sauce on it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I could taste the apple cider vinegar, but I
Yes.
didn't know any of the others.
Yes.
Wow, very good.
Yeah. That was
And then
pretty
I
good.
made the meatballs.
Meatballs were delicious.
They were very good.
I had some this morning after
So I don't do
woke up.
any kind of fancy sauces. It was Sweet Baby Ray's
was
and
it?
grape
Okay.
jelly.
Oh, you put grape. I knew
Yeah.
it wasn't just Sweet Baby
4
Ray's.
tablespoons.
I knew it.
And there were like the big
Yeah.
bags. It filled a large
Yeah.
crock pot, but
Yeah.
it was just enough to
That
put a
was
little bit
delicious.
of sweet in there. Good.
And your husband brought bruschetta.
Yeah. So I have a Polish last name, but he's mostly Italian. Like
Yeah.
his mom was 100% Italian.
That's what I was
His dad
telling
was
Johnny.
100% Polish.
Yeah.
So we have a Polish last name, but he is truly
Super Italian.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
his mom was.
Yeah.
And he cooks like that too.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
it was so
we were
good.
actually talking with Megan about like how he cuts and Bud about how they how he cuts up the tomatoes, and we were talking
Yeah.
about different like techniques you can use.
Yeah.
And all of us said, no, you got to do it by
Yeah.
hand if you want to
Can't
make
use
it
the
like
chopper.
Can't use the
No.
chopper because we were
Yeah.
talking about that. I think like Pampered Chef because we
Yes.
have one that we've used since Julia was a baby, and but it just
Yeah.
like. for what you want that
Right.
crispy,
Right.
nice line, you know?
It was so good.
He does
and
it
he
all.
brought it like on bread, and I was like, "Oh, should I just scoop it?" And I'm like, "Fuck it, today's a holiday."
Yeah, it's a holiday, yeah.
And I
recover
ate-
on Monday.
Oh, God, I think I ate like 4 or 5 of those.
And he puts it's cream cheese with chive on there.
Yes.
And there's a certain bread that he buys actually at Jewel at the bakery. It's some kind of
need to know.
Why
It was so good, so good.
And then I mean just the way that he it's like I don't know, it's like magic watching him
Yeah.
in the kitchen do it. That's fun. But,
Yeah,
and then Bestie brought a taco dip.
taco dip,
That was amazing.
which I also
Once
had
again,
some of that this morning.
Diesel approved as well. She made like a big
a 13
pan.
by 9 pan of it. I was like, holy shit.
There was, it was
was
very good.
I always overmake food, right? And so because when I was younger, I always hosted everybody's birthday parties, the kids' birthday parties and stuff. I don't have kids, but we have grandkids. I have nieces and nephews and stuff, and hosting Christmas and this and that. And we would always get stuck with so many leftovers. So I started like toning down on how much food we would have. Like when it's done, it's done. But then when everybody's like, what can I bring? What can I bring? What can I bring?
Yeah.
What can I bring? So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you got that. You got that. You got that. We had so much food.
We did, but we also host here a lot parties, and we have a pretty big family. Like I would say our summer party, like last summer, was 50 people, right?
Yeah.
That is my worst fear, is to run out of food.
I know,
I
mine
would,
too.
and it's happened once for my mom's, I think like 50th or 60th. I can't remember. It was a
Yeah.
milestone. And we ordered pizza and everyone showed up, even though we
Yeah.
didn't know everyone was going to show up because we didn't really RSVP at the time. It was a
Right.
surprise party and we
Right.
ran out of pizza.
Oh,
and I
that's
remember just
terrible.
feeling, oh my God, okay, we got to panic. She was calling
Yeah.
for, because there were just so many people that came, to
Yeah.
celebrate, and we didn't realize. And one other time during one of the kids' parties, I think, so many people showed up, neighbors came over or whatever, or, friends brought friends, and we ran out of food. And I think I had to throw in some pizzas in the oven or something. You know what I mean? Just for those that were
Yeah.
still hanging out, having a couple cocktails and wanted some food.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling.
Yeah,
I don't like
no,
that
I
feeling.
don't
So we
either.
always have way too much food.
I say I cut down on food, but I probably make just like the regular party amount.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see my pink tablecloths out in the garage yesterday?
Just for a second. I
Yeah.
didn't go out there.
No, because we were smoking cigarettes out there.
Nah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So, and then I want to talk about Kevy's bacon dip.
That was so good. Okay, my sister makes a similar dip because he called it bacon ranch cheddar dip, I believe.
Okay.
And my sister makes a BLT dip. It
Oh,
has
yes.
tomatoes and bacon.
Yes.
And it's like mayo and sour cream, and you toast bread and put it on there. Oh, it's so good.
That's what it was. So my aunt makes something like that.
Yes.
And every time I looked at it to give it to Diesel and on a chip, I was like, why does this look so familiar?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what it was like. It's like
It's
a
like
BLT.
a BLT dip. Yeah. Yeah.
I-
and he
in my
had
notes
chopped
here,
green onions on top. And
I put Kevy's bacon dip that I fed Diesel too much of.
Poor Diesel. He's like, man, dairy doesn't give me the shits. It plugs me up. Sorry. Johnny fed him breakfast today. And Diesel just looked at it and just went right to the couch and laid down. He's like, I'm stuffed. I'm still full from last night, Dad.
And then the last thing on my list is your baklava.
Okay. So that's it's phyllo crinkle, they called it.
Oh my gosh.
And I first saw it on TikTok because I'm a TikTok addict. And it was a little complicated. They made a custard for it and stuff. And I was kept looking on Google and I found the easiest one. So you take a pack of phyllo dough, has 2 rolls in it, and you'll need both rolls.
Is it in the freezer
Yes.
section? Okay.
Yes. And I took it out the day before, let it defrost overnight in the fridge, and then I took it out an hour and a half before I was going to use it. Didn't open it, but just let it sit and
Okay.
kind of come to room temperature. Otherwise, it breaks on you if it's too cold. So you take 2 pieces at a time and you crinkle it up and you put it in a greased 9x13. Pour a melted stick of butter over it, which I could have done better getting it. I would almost do it while you're crinkling it, put butter in between.
Oh yeah, right.
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
And it might take 2 sticks of butter if you do it that way. But then you bake it for between 20 and 30 minutes at 350 till it gets crispy. Then you take a can of condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk. And then it said to use like a cup and a half of heavy whipping cream. I didn't think it needed that much, so I only did like, I just went over it. So it might have been maybe a cup, maybe not even that much, maybe 3/4 cup. And then you bake it again for like, I don't know, like another 20 minutes. I think I bumped it up a little to like 375 at that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was
baked
just a little bit of crispy on top. That on the It was very good.
It was so good.
It was really, really
and
good.
I put cinnamon on top also.
Yeah. Oh,
Very good. That was we're adding it to the menu.
Yeah, for sure. And that was a very fun party. Thanks for
flaky,
having all of us. That was amazing.
I had so much fun. I know I walked in and your husband Steve was like, "Oh my God, that was so much fun."
Yeah.
And it was so nice to get everybody together, and some people didn't make it, which was depressing. I was like all depressed, but
I didn't miss anybody.
Happy.
I'm just kidding.
I was happy that everybody showed up that did. We met
the ones that showed up wanted to be there.
Yeah, we met Kevy's. I don't want to say girlfriend.
No,
friend,
no. Yeah.
You know, she's a girl and it's his friend.
Yeah.
And she was very nice and she brought Jell-O shots and that was a lot of fun. We did that.
I think that was why Steve was napping all afternoon.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did talk him into taking a couple of those.
Yeah, I think he said like 3 or 4.
That's great.
For someone that doesn't drink.
No, yeah. And they were like rum and tequila, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I came downstairs because I was going to get ready for you to come over.
Yeah.
And it's pitch dark. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm napping. I'm like, what are you waking me up for?
I took a nap about 10:30. I got up. I don't know. I'm going to say like I got up at probably like 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning because I don't sleep in.
No, you
know?
don't. That's later
really
though.
Sleeping in for me, you know. And then I had coffee and like woke up and had a couple snacks. And then I was like, I'm going to take a fucking nap on the couch.
I'm off today. I'm just gonna.
I think probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I fell asleep on the couch, and I was up by 2:30, so it wasn't that long. You know, just a movie worth.
Oh, so all of a sudden we got this big box in our house last week, and it says
big box of what?
It says Emerald Lagasse on there.
Oh,
yeah.
We talked a little bit about this yesterday.
I have to behave myself. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. You know, and so and so Steve and Julia decided that they were going to buy us new pots and pans because ours are for shit. They're like, well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. My mom, I think, is the one that bought us the set, and it's a very nice set, but we cook so much here. It was time for new ones. So we were talking about like where they come from and how they're made and are they safe and all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, well, if you don't think they're going to be safe, then find some others. So this morning, because I knew I wanted to talk about it real quick, I look up pots and pans. Do you know how many different kinds there are? How do you even choose? So first of all, you have to like whoever is
I like going to the store for that.
Yeah, like
I want to look at it. I want to touch
something.
it. I want to see it. How heavy is it? I like a heavy pan.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know if I could do it online.
You need one small nonstick skillet for eggs.
Yeah.
You know, and then
just that.
Anything
Breakfast.
else, either get stainless steel, cast iron, you know, something heavy.
Yes.
You guys,
I agree.
You guys cook a lot.
Yeah, like breakfast,
kids
lunch,
are in
dinner.
the kitchen.
Yeah.
You guys are in the kitchen.
I mean, we do go out to eat like once a week, but the more I think about it, like it's only been like a couple times a month, really.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes we'll do fast food. You know, sometimes you got to have some French fries or onion rings.
Yeah.
But we do like everyone cooks breakfast here.
Right.
Mostly lunch and mostly dinner. And because there's, 2 megans and 2 vegans, is like we like to say, there's always 2 meals being prepared.
Right.
Because we don't eat eggs. We don't, you know what I mean? So you're using one pan, you're using this pan on each side of the stove.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so here, I was looking this up. So there's a company called Greenspan Nonstick. Okay.
I never heard of them.
Granite aluminum. That's another kind. So you gotta mix,
so
right?
Does that look like the...
Yeah.
You know, you see them all the time and like you can't scratch them.
Right.
You know,
That's
but they're nonstick. Yeah.
Viking stainless steel.
Viking.
Gotta be. Don't they make everything for the kitchen? Yeah. They were like $2,100 for like
God.
the stir stick.
Oh my, stop it. It's like an 8-piece set.
I think it was 7-piece for $2,100.
So a 7-piece it's probably 4 pans and then 3 lids.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay, probably.
Yeah. That's a 7-piece set for fucking $2,000. Jesus.
There's a caraway ceramic.
Okay.
I
think I've heard of them.
This company's called Cook and Home Ceramic Coated.
Okay.
So that would scare me.
No, because that's But that's like you got us Dutch ovens for Christmas.
Oh, and they're ceramic coated.
They're ceramic coated. So it's cast iron
okay.
and ceramic coated because it's very hard to take care of cast iron if you don't know how.
Yes. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I
You have
think
to
I was
keep them
thinking it was something
seasoned
else.
But yeah, so ceramic coated isn't bad.
Okay.
The only thing I don't like about it is it generally only comes in white ceramic coated and it gets stained over time.
Okay,
you know?
so you put a little spaghetti sauce in there, you're done.
Well, it's
little
not
tomato soup or something.
It's like because you can do it, you know, like it's like the Dutch oven you got.
You can put it in the oven, and
you
then
can put it in the oven.
You
Yeah,
get the dark.
so it gets yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they're fine, you know.
I was thinking it was something else, but all right. So then there's Granite Stone Pro Hard Anodized.
Anodized.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
So
it
that's
looked like
stainless
it was like
steel, right? Oh, it
looked like
it
was like sparkly. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me look at it.
Did it look like
super
the
quick.
you know when people epoxy their garage floor?
Yeah, that's what it
right,
looked like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the sprinkles in it. Yeah.
There was one that was like white inside from Mainstays. It was white inside and this really nice light blue outside. I'm like, I love it. But it was
Ooh.
only $40 for a 12 piece. I'm like, oh, I don't even know if that
Yeah.
would last in this house at all.
No.
So
You're better off investing some money in it because it's going to get used.
I think the ones that they bought were like $300. So
That's
mid,
maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not the best, but not the worst.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't think it's going to peel, but pro quality cookware, stainless and carbon steel is another kind.
Those sound pretty expensive.
Yeah, let me look at that real quick too. I think they were like $1,200.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yep. And then just a couple more. I just couldn't believe how many combos there were.
Right.
Like, right? Flesher and Wolf London Tri-Ply. So
What
that's
the hell does that mean? Tri-ply.
stainless steel, aluminum, and non-stick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hexclad Tri is also the same thing.
Hexclad. I know what that is.
Yeah.
That has the little
Yeah.
inside of the pan and it's non-stick looking. Yeah.
And then I noticed that probably a record for so many, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. This is not your quiz yet. So I was looking up a chef that's on TV, and this person's sets are like a million different colors. You can get blue, orange, green.
Is it Rachel Ray?
Yes. I figured you would say that or Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So she's got a hard porcelain enamel, non-stick cookware.
So that's like our Dutch ovens also.
So it's like, where do you
Porcelain,
even
enamel,
start?
ceramic,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call
So
it.
you'd have to do your research. You'd have to know what you want to cook
Yeah.
on. And I guess it depends on what you cook. There's so many different kinds
Yeah.
of, Italian,
well, okay,
Indian,
so and then
Mexican. There's so many different things,
because me and
right?
Steve were talking about the gumbo pots, right?
Yes, right.
Because I see the women in Louisiana cooking in these gumbo pots. They're like this big around, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm trying to tell them what it was, and it was aluminum. They're aluminum.
Okay.
They're polished aluminum.
Okay.
Because it wasn't shiny. And great grandma had this aluminum pot when I was growing up with her. And she used it for everything. You could just see the age on it. Like, it wasn't stained or dirty, but it was an aluminum pot, and she used it for everything. And she probably had that thing for 50 years.
And what was she making it?
Everything.
Oh, everything.
Everything.
Like
she would
soups
brown
and-
meat in it. She would make soup in it. It could go from stovetop to oven, you know. Mm-hmm. She made everything in it.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. I would have to do my research on what I want to cook on. And then there's just so many colors. It's not just black and silver anymore.
You brought
or
up
white
Rachel
or,
Ray.
Yeah.
You got Martha. You got Pioneer Woman.
Yeah,
you
there's
got
so many.
so many.
So I guess you can match, with
yes
your kitchen.
When Rachel
long as
Ray
you don't
first
repaint your
came
walls.
out, when Rachel Ray first came out, all of her shit was orange, like orange handled and stuff, right? Because I think that's her favorite color. And Rachel, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that was your favorite color. But I liked she had those wide pots that you could lay spaghetti down in.
Oh,
She
clever.
invented that, you know?
There's a couple on TikTok, and he's Italian.
Yes.
And he walked into the kitchen, and she had spaghetti, and I think the thing was like, watch me, make my Italian
know
husband
exactly what you're
angry.
talking about.
And she went
And
and
broke it.
threw it in there. He goes, amore. Like he was like
He
why are
freaks
you
out.
breaking spaghetti?
They
think it's bad luck, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And she took him to Olive Garden, and that was the best. He's just like, what the fuck is this, you know?
Did you see that meme that says our compliments to the chef?
I just
did
posted
you say
that one.
Oh,
I
did you
posted
do
that
it?
one, yeah.
Our
And it's a
compliment-
microwave. My
Microwave head.
aunt told me probably 15 years ago, like, Olive Garden's just microwave food, and I have not, like, been able to enjoy it
So
since.
it's similar to what they do in stores. So people that work retail, who is probably all of everybody listening, that's what
Yeah.
they, except for Christine. I don't think she's ever worked retail, but she loves our podcast. Hi, Chrissy.
She's like our number one fan.
But I think it's similar to in stores because they have like a commissary or a kitchen that they make everything there.
Right.
And then how do you warm it up in the stores or how do you warm it up in the restaurants?
Yeah.
You just have to.
Warming tables.
Yeah, or steamers. You know, you have steamers. And so they're in everything comes in a bag. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like real food because it's made in a kitchen, but unfortunately because these companies are so big and so broad everywhere that you have to figure out how to make every recipe the same.
When you have a corporate restaurant in all 50 states, and you have to keep the food
the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's like it would be for me. So I don't eat Olive Garden in all different states. It's rarely like once a year I will go there, but like Starbucks, they're the same. It has to be the same everywhere. So I mean, I know that it's not the same because it's not food being microwaved, but it does have to be the same. It still comes from a kitchen or from a warehouse and same quality.
That's why a lot of their sauces come in a bag. They just dump it into a pan and it's hot and they just put it on the
very
noodles.
Similar. Yeah, it's very, very similar.
Yeah. Exactly. I have a hard time going out to eat pasta because I can eat pasta at home.
So we say that all the time. Once again, Italian husband. It's hard for him to pay for anything Italian.
Yeah.
You know, because he could make it at home.
Well, especially when his sister makes delicious eggplant.
Yeah. Yep.
I told her, I think because I never liked eggplant and I was like, I'm going to try it. I know she's Italian. I'm going to try it. I've never had like somebody make it for me. I've always just like tried it out and stuff, you know. Never cared for it. It was so good.
Oh, it's awesome.
I ate like this much of the pan. I started with a piece this big.
My mom and her, they're always like, your friend Cassandra, she is just so nice. It's because you compliment them on everything.
Oh my God, it was so
good.
She's
just so fun and she's so nice. And she is
we all
just
like getting
so
compliments,
neat.
right?
They always say that. I love it.
Your family's fun. Your family's fun.
Now that we've made everyone hungry talking about our food and talking about our celebration last night, and hopefully they're like sitting in the drive-thru getting some food, we're gonna like take a left turn here and talk about 11 reasons why you feel stuck at your job.
Oh.
So,
I mean, the only reason I feel stuck at my job is because it gives me money and food.
Okay, right. A lot of us just go to work because we have to, right?
You know?
Or I should say, all of us go to work because we have to.
Well, you know what? It takes me back to when we had Annie on the show from Turning Heads.
Yep.
And I was talking about with her that, you know, your job doesn't have to always be this fabulous thing.
Right.
Like we're taught growing up, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
Like you're pressured your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes what you love to do doesn't make you money, so you go to a job so you can do what you love. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's fine.
It's true.
That's fine.
It's very true. So this says here, feeling stuck at a job is when you're dissatisfied with the work, but feel as though you can't leave.
Yeah.
And that's actually happened to me a couple times.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody could say that.
You know, just in the past couple years, longer than that, I just felt like I was getting older. So I was like, who's going to hire someone older? Who's going to hire? You know what I mean? So you just have to put yourself out there, right? You just have to say, I'm qualified.
Yeah.
Let me go interview for this job.
You will be pleasantly surprised.
Yes. So anyone that is listening right now and you're just like, nope, I just got to stay here. No, do it. Do it. Don't be afraid. Apply for the job. Update your resume.
Especially
I know we've
now.
had these conversations before. There are so many opportunities out there right now. Like even more so than we talked about last year. Like I'm kind of reflecting on our year, right? Of things that we've talked about. More so now this year, I think.
You could easily jump ship and make $30,000 more a year.
Or if you're not even worried about the money, it's just being happier.
Yeah.
Like maybe you have a couple coworkers that you just can't stand, or maybe you feel like you're doing all the work and no one else around you is working. There are so many memes and funny stories out there about it, but it's because it's true.
Yeah.
And they talk about how, you know, you do your job and someone else's, then they're going to expect you to do
exactly.
your job and someone else's. They're going to say, well, we don't really need this person. So, you know, you would hope more money comes with that. A lot of times we know it doesn't because we've been in those situations.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so-and-so left. So I'm going to need you to pick up their work. And it's like, okay, are you doubling my pay? Well, no.
Right.
We're a team here. We should all be helping each other out. Well, who's helping me out?
Yeah, it's always the harder workers. And you know what? Those are the ones that leave.
Yep.
You know, and we know the signs. You can tell. And as a good manager or a store director or a team lead, whatever, you have to know those signs.
Yeah.
So this is just a couple things, reasons that you may feel stuck, but I want everyone to reflect on that and be like, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. Yep.
We're talking to you guys because we love our jobs.
Yeah, we do. We do. Like love. Like I hope they never fire me until we make our millions here, which we're getting close.
Which will be like, man, we don't care. We're doing what we
I probably
love.
would still stay for the insurance because
Yeah,
it's
right.
so expensive.
Hopefully by then we have universal health care or
And
something
I just like paid vacations.
that. Something similar to that.
Oh gosh. So there's like quite a few bullet points. We'll just hit a few of them. It says, here are some of the reasons why you might feel stuck at your job. You didn't understand the role when you accepted the position.
Very common.
Yes.
I believe that is very common.
Now, do you think, and this is not on here, but do you feel it's because the interviewer doesn't explain the job, or the interviewee is just so excited and, like
Both.
getting the job? Okay.
Both.
Yeah.
Because you may have something in your head of the role that you're going into.
Yeah.
So you don't know to ask the correct questions of what is expected, right?
Yes.
And then, so it's on you for that, but it's also on them for not explaining fully what is to be expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's so funny that this was going to be what we were talking about today because, and you didn't know, but I was looking it up this morning. I
Yeah.
always do my research in the morning before I log on. And I had a meeting with a director of retail, and she said to me today, she goes, I knew you were getting close because I said, I'm celebrating 1 year already this
Yes.
month,
Yes.
And she said, I knew you were getting close. And, and then she went through this, like, she just wanted to hear like how I was feeling and what were the expectations and the role that I was accepted in. Like, am I
Is that
happy
what
in
you're
it? Is that what I
doing?
expected?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and it was just funny that this was brought up as
Yeah.
well. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what.
Yeah.
I said, I think it's because everyone I interviewed with and my boss explained it to me exactly what I
Right,
was doing. I said, and I
right.
think that I came in with the experience and the description matched perfectly. So
Yeah.
I got very lucky. Not so lucky any other
Right,
jobs.
right.
It wasn't like that. So
Well, and I feel like where we met, you started down here and worked your way up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
would
you're
say
going to
that
have changes.
There's been a couple jobs where I've interviewed and there's like, here's what you're going to do. And it was not.
Yeah.
So, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because then you do kind of feel stuck because you're like, oh, first of all, who wants to go through the process of just that, you send out all your resumes and
Yeah.
then you wait for those phone calls or emails, but you get the emails back of thanks, but no thanks. And it's very like
Then you go on a
disheartening
whole
sometimes.
interview, go through the whole hiring
And then
process.
you don't hear from them or.
And then you hate it.
Yeah, right. True.
And it's like, shit.
I've told everybody this, everyone. You're going in for the interview because they want to hire you, but really you're going in to see if you
Yeah.
are going to like it there.
Yeah.
If you have a weird vibe, like when I interviewed, they do like a panel interview this last job. They did a panel interview. I met with 5 people.
Yeah.
I met with one as like a first interview from HR. Then there
And you
was
did
a
it all
panel
on the
of
computer,
4.
right?
It was on the computer
Yeah.
because we were.
Which is even weirder.
Yeah, it was the beginning of
Because you don't know where to
last year.
look and you're like.
Yeah, and it was truly like one of the best. It was one
Yeah.
of the best because they would say, "Now, what do you have for me?" And I remember one
And
time,
I'm just like, nothing.
and I had all my questions.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I was ready. But you know what though? I felt it.
You're
I
fancy.
felt it because I think I learned from previous.
Remember my interview when I
interviews.
got hired for the job I have now? And it was me, you, and the big boss,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was just like this the whole time.
And he just talked.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And then I was like, I would look at you on the computer. Uh-huh. Try not to look at myself in the computer.
Oh gosh, we got done and he was like, "She's great. She's
Yeah.
hired." I'm like, "Yay!"
I don't think I've ever.
He loved your personality and like just how fun you were.
I've never not gotten a job. I mean,
Yeah.
I've only had really a handful of jobs in my almost 40 years here on earth. You know, I've never not gotten hired for a job.
That's a good comment. Let me think. I'm pretty sure maybe there was only one, but it was just not meant to be. Yeah, there was one. It was a phone interview, and I just never got a phone call back. But my feeling was, oh, that was weird. Like the questions were weird, and I just wasn't vibing right. So I was okay not getting that call back.
Have you, not to get off of your
No,
but
this is
this
good.
is definitely goes with your topics. They have some really fucking weird interview things now.
What do you
where
mean?
You have to take these personality tests.
Oh.
So it's just random weird fucking questions like
so it's mental health,
it's
right?
Kind of, yeah.
So what I think I have done that before. I think it was when I was working at a dealership.
Have you?
And it was...
Hold on, because I'm going to grab my phone really quick.
Yeah. So I think it was like 50 questions, but the questions repeat themselves in different
See
you know, in different
answering
forms.
the same way.
To see if you're consistent. Like,
Yes.
like, I don't know, like, I hate my life. And then it would be like, I really don't like my life.
Right.
Yes or no. Right. You know what I mean? So that's totally extreme. That's not what it says.
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's so weird. Some of the questions that they ask.
Yeah, and they do. They just kind of change them. I'm trying to figure out which job I would have. I don't know. Maybe they do it in the medical field, or maybe they do it when you have to speak to a lot of people.
You know, the videos that I've seen, I don't feel like they were going for really important jobs.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? They were just like normal data entry, like, but they want to know like what's going on.
You know, data entry is the same thing all day, every day.
Right.
So maybe they do want to just make sure that you're not in your own mind, that you're okay to be able to do the same thing maybe it's warehouse working too. You know,
see, these are a little like normal, like what motivates you? How do you handle stress? I always hated that question. Okay, because I used to interview at the last job, you know?
Yeah.
And it would be like, I'm interviewing these like 16-year-olds to push carts and stuff. Give me an example of when you went out of your way to help a customer. And they'd be like, this is my first job.
Yeah, it's tough. I know.
So I'd be like, okay, well, you know, have you ever stuck up for a kid being bullied at school? No.
Yeah. But I bullied
Get
a
out.
few.
Get out.
I mean, I
And then
pushed
I'd
a
just
kid in
be
a
like-
locker last week.
I'm like, okay, do you wait for your mom to ask you 3 times to do the dishes, or do you do it after the first time she asks? Oh, usually after the first. There you go.
All
You know, like,
right.
you're hired.
Yeah.
Snow's coming, and I don't want to push carts. You're
Yeah.
hired.
Here's your rope. Your cart rope.
Yeah, so keep going, and I'm going to keep looking
So
for some
actually,
of these
this one,
weird questions.
I feel like this one is very, so 11 reasons why you may feel stuck at your job. So we just talked about, you know, not understanding the role.
Yeah.
This one is you don't know the value of your own skills.
That
How
is
many
so
of us-
true.
How many of
Yes.
us read a job description and say, oh, no, that might be
can't do
beyond
that.
me.
Yeah.
It's not beyond you.
Yeah.
It's not
That's-
beyond you.
That's undervaluing
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
You know, you
But-
have to know your worth. We've talked about that.
But then does it
before.
go to where you do the interview and you go to get the job and you're like, oh, this is not what I expected. But
You
the
know,
balance, you got to balance
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
And I feel like if the interviewer put everything on the table and you answered to what
Honestly,
you knew
yep. Mm-hmm.
and they hired you, they know you can do the job.
Yeah.
You might need some training, like I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with this, but
Right. Like a new
You know,
program or something
yeah.
like that. Right. Exactly.
So just have faith in yourself.
Yeah, for
Be
sure.
confident. That's a hard thing for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
I get it.
So this one says you've stayed too long because you're afraid of change or risk.
That's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was so comfortable in my last job. I was
We
there
have
for
a few
10
friends
years.
like that, I think. Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to just pick up and move to a different company.
So comfortable.
My husband's worked for his company for 22 years, you know. People don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, because you got to move to get a raise. You got to go to
Yeah.
another company.
Right.
You know,
right.
like,
Which may not be around here.
Right,
You know,
right.
so.
or
and
like,
then-
oh, you get a 2% raise this year. Oh, thanks. When you made $90 billion in profits last year.
And here's the next one. You're too comfortable in your routine.
Yeah.
So it just goes right with it.
Yeah.
This one says your skills are out of date, or you feel your skills are out of
Okay.
date, which would go along with being comfortable in what you do. You do the same thing. You become the expert
Yes.
of what you do every day, and
Yes.
then you're going to go for another role that might be just a little bit different than that. And so you feel like your skills are out of date.
Yeah.
So I think that's up to the person that's, thinking that. I don't know if skills can be learned, is I guess what I'm saying.
Right. And, my grandma said it a while ago. She was like, this lady, they were letting her go because she didn't have a college degree, because now they required a college degree for her position, but they weren't really changing anything about the position. So why would she have to go to college? If she's been doing it for 15 years, she knows how to do it.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to go to
Yeah.
college. If you want to require that for new people coming in, fine. But I think that's a little ridiculous that you're going to let somebody go because they don't have a college degree when they've been doing the job just fine for 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So you've convinced yourself to wait and see if a change will happen at the job.
That's never going to happen.
I almost couldn't say that with a straight face because I don't even know how long I waited at a few jobs.
If you know
where I
it's
was
bad,
promised things
yeah.
were going to change, and the next frickin' day, it was just like, I have an idea. We're just going to give you all the work. I swear, I worked at a company that I would bring up everything that was happening and say, here's what's happening, here's the solution, here, please be the
some
boss.
ideas,
and it was turned back around to me and said, great solutions, go ahead and do those. And all of a sudden I had more to do. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay.
I always say the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right?
It's true.
It's the ones who complain,
true.
and not that you were complaining, but you were like, this is messed up, here we go, this is how we fix it. And they're like, go ahead. Yeah. Do that for us,
this.
please.
Yeah, you go ahead and fix it.
Yes, please do that for us.
Oh, gosh.
Job performance evaluation. No, that's not what I want. Personality tests, behavioral assessments.
Oh, okay.
That's, I think,
so
what
that would be
they
for
are.
like meat cutters or something? They don't want you like
no, because
showing people what's up
because if you do it out in the wild, you're probably really good in a controlled situation.
Okay. All right, so then they give you some ideas on, maybe just to change your mindset, right?
Okay.
So reevaluate your skill set. Like, just take a look at what you know, right? Knowing your value, valuing your skills.
Right.
So just take a look at what you do.
Right.
And don't think that it's little, because everyone's the expert of what they do right now. If you've been at a job for a year doing the same thing over and over again, you know what you're doing.
Right.
So you can go to another job and do that same
Right.
thing, if not more. They may not even be teaching you anymore. They just want you to be at that level.
Yes.
But,
that's okay. So that is like, I went from retail to like vendor world is what I call it. And what I did best in retail was customer experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know how to turn the grumpy customer happy.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to turn the happy customer grumpy.
I did that too many times.
But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I brought it over to this job where really what I do is I work for a specific company that partners with the stores. So where most vendors, if they're, say, a wine vendor, they want to come in and sell as many boxes of wine as they can to the store. I don't have to do that.
Oh.
I just go, hey, your boss's boss wants these displays up. Where do you want it? They can't really yell at me for it. Not that they would yell, but they can't, they know
here's
they have
the plan.
Somebody from corporate's going to come and check and make sure that shit's up. So they know they better leave it alone.
Right. And if you're going to do the work to make sure that they're on plan, go ahead, right?
So
as long as there's room in the store.
So that's where my customer service comes in, though. Like I can make friends with the store directors, with the managers of the departments, and, be friendly with them, which is easier to work with anyways, right?
Yeah.
Because I see that other company that's like our competition, and he's grumpy. And I run into him. I sent you a picture of him. I was like, I wish this motherfucker got out of my way.
Oh. He's just hanging out till retirement. He does work, though. He works. He shows up every day.
That guy's grumpy.
He
needs to put a smile on his face. Even if it's fake. He needs to get one of those masks that looks like your face, Yeah.
But a smile, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm yawning.
Okay, so real quick, these behavioral tests, they test your dominance, hold on, I have to zoom in. Extroversion. Okay, so are you sociable or an introvert?
Oh, sure.
Your patience, your formality, and your objectivity.
Okay.
So that's what they test you on, but people say they have really weird fucking questions. I don't know. Thankfully, I haven't had to.
Maybe the people that are answering them are a little weird.
Well.
So they're taking the questions to heart.
That could be. What do you know, really, in a 60-second video about somebody? But I just like those questions we had were pretty basic, Tell me when you went out away for a customer, or tell me when you did this or did that,
Right.
But there would be grown people who it was hard for them to answer.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
And I feel like they were stuck in their job.
Yeah.
They were going through the process. They never did anything extra because they weren't happy.
Yeah, I agree. So another bullet point here says pursue growth opportunities. It's not a bad thing to feel comfortable at your job, but keep trying,
right.
basically.
Keep moving up.
Keep trying. Keep
never know.
interviewing.
You could be the CEO
Keep
one
applying.
day with that yacht and
You applied
2
10 times,
vacation homes.
apply 11.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Learn the most relevant skills for your field.
Yeah.
So just once, like I said it a couple times already, just become the expert of what you're doing.
Right.
And then some. Take the time to go hang out with someone else for an hour and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you might even be able to bring it over to your role.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you know more.
Yes.
Not more than that person, but you just know more in your role.
That was one thing I liked about this job was like, you trained me a little bit, and then that person trained me a little bit, and then that person trained me a little bit.
Everyone has a different way of doing it. Mm-hmm.
So it gave me a good core to start with.
Yes. So for a perfect example of this, so when I trained you, like for me, I would do all the fresh food side, right? We would do deli, bakery, and then we would go to grocery, let's say, and then meat, or I'm sorry, meat would be fresh, and then grocery, and then HBC.
Yeah.
Where like, I think Drew does a full circle maybe.
Right.
Or I'm just using him as an example.
Right.
Or someone else maybe starts in grocery because that maybe is a bigger client there. And then back to meat because that always takes up a lot of time. Or, so everyone does it a little bit different in the store.
I always start my day in produce. Then I go to meat.
See, I never
go
start in produce.
And then I'll go check out like deli and bakery because I'm not strong in those parts.
Yeah.
So I leave them for last and like, y'all need anything? No? Okay.
Yeah. And see, I would go right to deli.
Yeah.
Right to deli, right to bakery, to meat. Didn't like grocery, so it would be like the end of the day.
Well, grocery's pretty slow. But I always like helping out the managers in grocery. Like, hey, is there anything I can throw for you today? Did everybody show up to work today?
Yeah, not me.
No.
I'd rather go hang out in food, fresh food.
Yeah, not me.
Oh, wow.
I have long hair. I don't like it.
Yeah. I don't have any, so I took off my earrings, so we're good.
It's my worst fear. Like yesterday, getting ready for Super Bowl, I had my hair tied up, you know. I'm like wiping everything down, making sure, no hair anywhere, you know. Because you always get that stray that you'll feel tickling your elbow
and all of a sudden
little.
you're like, what?
And you're like, what the shit? I'm glad that didn't end up in the cookies.
Okay, 2 more. Pursue what you want.
That's with anything in life.
Right? And be wary of excuses. Perfect.
That brings me back again to the more you bring your personal life into work, it gives you an excuse to not be able to do your work because of your personal shit.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be circumstances, you know, somebody passed away, your house caught on fire.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Yeah, you're going to bring that to work and be like, hey, I'm not going to be here for a couple days because this happened.
Right.
But other than that, like, I mean, I didn't go to work today because I was hungover. But how
many Saturdays in a row have you worked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
If I went to work hungover, that would have been my excuse all day long to be a piece of shit and not get as much done as I should.
Like tomorrow, they're going to get fresh casts.
Right.
Like ready to work.
Right.
You'll probably do more work
I'll
tomorrow.
hit 4 stores instead of 2.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You'll do more work tomorrow than you would have ever done today because you knew you were on your game.
Because I would have been like, oh, God, I'm so hungover.
Yeah.
And I would have sat there and talked to everybody and told them about how fun Super Bowl was and how hungover I am.
Yeah. Sometimes that's just what you have to do.
So, yeah, it's better to take a paid day, take a nap.
Yeah.
Have some more snacks.
One more. Remind yourself of what's important to you.
Yes.
And that's I would say with anything.
That's in anything too.
Career, money, time, family, anything, right?
Right.
So,
I say demand.
Yeah.
Demand what's important to you to be important to others. That's where a lot of people get taken advantage of, I think, is they don't, you're so easygoing in the beginning because you want to do everything they ask of you and be the good person and always show up, but be wary of that.
Yeah.
Let them know that you have extracurricular activities, whether it's school or you have a book of the month club or whatever. Like, I never work on the 15th of the month because that's my book club meets up. Don't let them talk you into working that day.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try.
Yeah.
Don't.
And, I think the more that you speak on that, the more that you're a person to them. You're not just that person that's filling in that 1 to 11 spot for the afternoon or whatever.
I feel like sometimes you will have bosses that you're just going to be a number no matter what.
Yeah, right. Of course. We all have seen them. We all work with them now.
Yeah. Good bosses are going to be like, okay, I'm going to make sure you never work on the 15th because you work every single other time I ask you to.
Yeah. All right. So go get those jobs. Don't be afraid.
Do it.
Y'all are way, way great.
Yeah.
Way great. Don't tell yourself otherwise. So, I have a surprise for you.
Is it a Super Bowl quiz?
It's not.
Okay, on the way over here, I was like, shit, she's going to do a Super Bowl quiz. And it's going to be like, who played in the 35th Super Bowl? I'm going to be like, I don't fucking know.
And someone in their head right now is saying,
I know.
Because they know.
I watched Super Bowl for the halftime show.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that really, really
which
quick.
Which was fantastic this year. I wish it was longer.
I saw a pretty good mix on socials of people that
really?
didn't like it.
Well, okay, hold on. Anybody who didn't like it is like over 50, I'm going to say. I'm not saying if you're over 50, you didn't like it, but anybody who disliked it is over the age of 50.
Really?
Yeah. Because I had people like, ew, it's stupid rap crap. Who cares? I'm like, everybody who was born 10 years after you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was great. I don't know.
We were surprised by 50 Cent. I didn't know 50 Cent was going to be there.
Yeah.
And he came down upside down, which people are like.
That's from his first album or first video, right?
Yeah,
or something. Didn't he do that before?
Yeah.
That's fun. I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was entertaining.
I thought it was fantastic, and I wish it was a little bit longer. I wish I would have given Eminem more time because
I like
he's
him.
fabulous.
Yeah, I am a fan of him.
I mean, we grew with him.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Well,
when I was a kid, if you're from the Midwest, B96, that's, has a mix of today's hits.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a kid in the late 90s, that's when B96 started. And it was Snoop and Dr. Dre and Regulators, Warren G. And, so I grew up with that. So this Super Bowl was just...
Yeah. And how old are you? You're going to be 40.
I'll be 40.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's the same with everyone that's around your age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit older, but I still enjoyed it.
I mean, I listen to everything. I listen to country music. The other day, I never post on those ones that's like name a band that you don't like or name a food you don't like. When it's like you see people in there that you're friends with have commented. And then there's people all over the world that comment on it. Well, I did the other day, and it was name a band you don't care for. And I said AC/DC in there. I said it. I don't like AC/DC. Okay.
Did anybody say anything or comment under you?
No.
Not
Like,
did anybody click on your?
I haven't checked.
Yeah, you should. I'm
checked.
curious if anyone agreed with you or put a mad face or whatever.
A lot of people like them, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a bartender, there's certain songs.
Oh gosh,
you just never want to hear again
because they play them. People
they
will
play
come
them in the
and
bar.
They
sing them
that
at
makes
karaoke.
Sense.
Like I'm tired of hearing that you have the biggest balls of them all. Okay. It's probably an issue then. If they're that big, you should go to the doctor.
Oh my God. I forgot about that song.
Yeah.
I might have to play it for you later.
So
I forgot to mention that Indeed.com is where I got all that information for the 11 reasons why you feel stuck. So I'll mention that.
It's a good place to find jobs also.
Yeah, it is.
A lot
it
of
really
companies
is.
post on
and I
Indeed.
feel like there's honesty in the reviews.
Can we talk about Glassdoor for a real second?
Absolutely.
Quick? So Glassdoor, if you go to glassdoor.com and then look at your company or a company you're interested in, that is past and present people that have worked there. That, and honestly, people are going to get mad because they got fired and they're going to say shitty things. You can usually spot them pretty quick because they're just super negative Nancy about it. But people really do put honest reviews on there.
I'll have to check it out.
And I've checked it out for every company that I've worked for. And I'd say that they were pretty decent reviews,
Or at least they
honest
matched
reviews.
what they matched what you were getting into.
Like, if I didn't like it for this reason, other people also didn't like it because of that reason.
Yeah.
So, it's not just you. It's a thing with that company, you know. So,
okay.
But yeah,
Very good.
Glassdoor.com. That's a good place to go and look at honest reviews of companies.
Good. Yeah, I'll check it out. What kind of job will make you the happiest?
Are we doing my quiz?
We are.
One where I don't have to work, but I get paid for.
All right. So how important is money? The most important.
Very.
No, so not at all. Actively unimportant. Somewhat the most important.
Most important.
Yeah. That's the reason why you're hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Do you love ambiguity?
Ambiguity. I don't even know what is that.
Somewhat. I love it. I hate it. It's a love-hate thing
What's
for me.
ambiguity? Hold on. I have to Google that word. You might think I'm dumb. That's fine. I don't know what it is. Ambiguity. The quality of being open to more than one interpretation. Inexactness. I'm very ambiguous. Is that a word? What's an example of ambiguity? The definition of ambiguity is a word or sentence that is not clear about the intention or meaning. An example is when a person answers a question in a way that indicates he is not giving all of the details. No, I don't like that.
Okay.
I want all the details.
So do you love it or you don't love it?
I don't love it.
Okay. So I hate it. Okay. How much time do you want to spend around other humans in a normal day? Most of the time, some, half, depends who they are.
Depends who they are.
Is working from home the dream?
No.
Nope. Often, sometimes not really.
No.
Okay. Do you have kids? I know that answer.
No.
Do you worry a lot about other people? Of course. Quite a bit, yes. Nah, screw them. Only intellectually.
I am definitely worried what everybody else is doing.
Of course. How much reading is enough? More than average, lots of reading, all the reading, average.
I'd say average.
Average.
Yeah. I don't read as much as I'd like to.
Do you enjoy conquering terrible odds? Absolutely, sort of, ideally, no.
That sounds awful. I mean, I endured my childhood.
So, sort of?
Sort of. We'll say sort of.
Our moms that listen are like, wasn't that bad.
The terrible odds that we overcame.
Okay, so be honest. How funny are you? Not really. Hilarious.
Very, yeah.
Not at all. I say hilarious, but those humorless people say not at all.
I'm hilarious.
You are hilarious.
We all know that.
I already clicked it before. Do you like being around bros? I hate them and the fire of thousand burning suns.
That seems a little...
Ideally not. Yeah, I love bros. Nobody likes bros.
Nobody likes bros. Hoes before bros.
Do you want to change the world? Absolutely.
Yes.
In my way, I want to reveal it. No.
In my way.
In my way.
Yeah.
I want everybody to listen to me.
Not even that. I would just like to be an inspiration to people.
Well, you are.
To laugh.
Done.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Done. All right.
Okay.
How curious are you? Fairly? The most? Intensely? I'm really not.
Fairly. I'll say fairly.
Or the most. You're
You
very
think so?
curious. But you this is your own. Fairly? Fairly mostly?
Mostly.
I didn't put mostly. I put fairly because you said it. You know what
I'm
happens is
pretty
we do these
curious.
quizzes. I put in my own answers for you, even though you're answering it. That's probably like a Boston cream. I'm more like glazed. That's because I put in my own answers
No,
for
Boston
you.
cream is my favorite. God, I haven't had a donut in a while.
Oh shit. Who
Sorry,
are the
I'll go home and eat my phyllo crinkle.
so good. Who are the worst people in the world? Finance guys, people with no imagination, people who hate facts, poor people.
People with no imagination.
Love it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I think this is 20 questions.
That's okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
What sort of hours are you willing to put in? 50, 70, 45, 60?
I'll say 60 at the most.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's what I clicked. I always click
Yeah.
first and then see if what you answer.
Yeah. We're
What-
living it.
What prize is the one most worth having? Nobel Peace, Oscar, Fields Medal, or being rich is the only prize worth having?
Probably the Nobel Peace Prize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get that for being a good person or coming up with something that saves a lot of people, or who cares about the Oscars? That's just like a piece of junk.
Is that acting?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd probably pick that. I'm so dramatic. I tell my stories and they're just so dramatic.
I like to say I care about the world, but I drink out of plastic bottles. I try, okay?
Oh, gosh. Who do you want to impress? Meredith, creative people, smart people, wealthy people. No, our descendants. Who do you want to impress? Smart,
Wait,
wealthy, creative, or our descendants?
Smart, wealthy, creative, or our descendants. Get out of here with your ASMR. Probably creative people.
Love
I
it.
like to impress them.
Like artists and stuff? Or
Yeah.
just people with that imagination, right? Yeah.
Because if I can impress somebody like that, like I really got into their head.
Do you think you could really impress a creative person?
I don't know.
Not you personally, but just like, because I feel like they would look at what you did and then still think of the next level. Because
Okay.
they're so creative and artistic.
I kind of thought about this the other night, and it's like I'm always willing to learn.
Oh.
So if I come in strong with an argument and you can like sway me in any way, I'm super impressed because
Yeah.
I usually come with my facts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, but edit to last week's show because I said sway bars turn your car. Thanks, Bud, for letting me know that they don't do that. But guess what? The MFer never told me what they do. So I still don't know.
You said doo-doo.
I said doo-doo.
I'm so immature. You didn't tell her what they
So-
do, bud.
Let me know.
Let me know.
Anyway, so yeah, if I feel like that's a huge accomplishment that you could,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
impress a creative person.
Yeah. All right. Totally agree. Do you mind your family worrying about you? Not really. No. Yes, a bit. Yes, a lot.
Yes.
I feel like that would be someone that's like on a high rise or something. So yes. Yes,
Yeah.
a lot or yes, a bit.
I'd say yes a lot.
Okay.
I don't ever want my family to worry about
Well, you
me.
work in the city. Sometimes you have to go through
Oh,
some
yeah.
neighborhoods that maybe
My mom and my grandma both are always like, be careful.
Yeah, you just never know who's driving
Weather-wise
through.
or
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
you know.
Who's driving through?
My mom
what kind of
does snow plowing, salting in the winter, so she'll be like, don't go this way.
Yeah, right,
Stay
right,
out
right.
of over here.
Yeah,
it's
true.
really bad.
See,
you
I
know.
immediately thought of crime. And
Well,
you,
yeah.
you thought of driving.
That's something that we have to deal with every day, though.
All
you
of
know,
it.
there's always
Oh,
a chance
yeah.
that you could be driving down the road on the tollway and get shot.
Yeah.
You know,
Gosh.
it happens all the time
Let's
for
not.
some
Let's
reason.
not. Great. Now I'm a friend that
Sorry.
worries a lot. How messed up is this world?
Very.
Totally, mostly. It's not good or bad. It just is. It's perfect.
I'm going to say, especially in the last 5 years, totally messed up.
Okay.
I think it's always been messed up, but like we're like getting ready to hit a brink
Mm-hmm.
here soon.
Yeah. How do you
Sorry.
feel about capitalism as a system? Flawed, evil, I don't care, marvelous. This is howstuffworks.com, by the way, if anybody wants to take this quiz.
I'm going to say definitely flawed.
Okay. How important is feeling like you're part of a community? Very, somewhat, immensely. I hate community.
I'm going to say somewhat.
Okay.
You know, I like our neighbors helping neighbors, but I don't want to. I just want to donate to helping neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the work.
Yeah. You don't want to show up to the table. You just want to go drop it off.
I was like, yeah, here's a gift to hand out to somebody.
I feel like we're getting close. I hope. I think we have like 3 more.
Okay.
How far are you willing to commute?
To the ends
End
of the world.
Whatever it takes. How often do you want to travel for work? Twice a
would-
year, once a year, some years not at all, any amount if the
Any
hotel
amount.
is good.
Yes. I would love to travel for work.
Would you move to another city for work or country for work?
I would,
Sure.
Yeah.
Already have. If the money was right, temporarily, yes.
if the money was right.
Okay. Do you believe that work-life balance is a good way to frame your life?
Yeah, you have to have that.
Of course.
Yes.
Do you want to have a fungible skill set?
No.
Okay.
I want to be one of a kind.
Okay. Who do you think the robot revolution will put out of work last? Politicians, creatives. I forgot that there was a multiple choice.
I was like, well, I'm going to get real creative with this one. Okay, let me think.
Really visionary scientists, the rich, politicians, creatives.
Politicians.
Okay.
Because God forbid we let computers control all that.
All right.
you
So
know.
I'm going to say you care deeply about other people and about leaving the world a better place than you found it. You're not, although you know, oh my God, they have all these bad spellings. I'm so sorry. So it says you might consider social work, working for an NGO, or going into politics because you got activist.
I think we all know that's true.
Sorry about my reading
No,
there,
that's-
folks.
that's
My
great.
goodness.
I It's very hard for me to read out loud. That was one of my biggest fears when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Was reading out loud in class.
I'm terrible at it, but
Yeah.
well, then if they spell the words wrong, I can't figure it out.
Well,
But that's all right.
yeah.
That's all right. That's so funny.
I do kind of feel like I should do more volunteer work.
I feel like I should read these quizzes before I read them so that I know what I'm getting myself into.
That's fine.
So what was your favorite part of all of this in the past year? I want to do a quick reflection.
Oh my gosh. Oh
We're gonna do
gosh.
it like
I don't know.
I didn't even have it in my notes,
You know what?
but we're going up on a year here.
You know what my favoriteest was going down the slip and slide in your front
Oh my
yard.
God, that was so funny. If you have not seen that on our TikTok, not the one that I'm on, you are the _Clopen_ effect on TikTok, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Just-
Like I feel like that would have happened anyways, but like this has brought me and you so much closer.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was like such a great like core memory. We made
I
that
laughed so much on that day.
I did too.
Do you remember Steven's friend that went down? So I have my yard has this pretty big, like it's my house is up. You know, there's a hill in front, so we use it for sledding. The neighbor kid, I saw him on
with his kayak on the sled.
He was sledding with his kayak and like his oars. Oh my gosh, I have it on the camera. So funny. And during hot days, we roll tarp down it and then take inner tubes and with the water.
Yeah.
So we were letting the water run.
And it was very dry summer.
Yeah, it was brown grass. And so you have to let it kind of like the bottom, you have to, because what we do is we roll the tarp down, but we leave some grass so that it stops you from going into the road.
Yeah.
So we told them, why don't you wait a little bit? Why? No, I'm going to go. He goes head first, spins on his back, and then goes like into the grass. He's like, oh my God.
He had the worst like grass burn.
Oh my gosh. We may have talked about this already, but this is the funniest because you brought this up with the inner tubes. And so he comes back up the hill and he's like, is my back bleeding? It was totally bleeding. And I was like, you're good. You're good. Oh my gosh. My son looked at me like, okay, like, does he need stitches? It was just all.
Oh, that was so
oh
much
my
fun.
gosh. It was so much fun. So much fun.
That's definitely a core memory of the last year for me.
I love all the guests.
Me too.
Every single one of them that have come on. They just have their own background and their own funny stories.
I'm very excited to get guests on again.
Yeah, we will. We will. You know what? I think we're kind of out of, not feeling great and stuff. I know we took a couple, weeks.
I guarantee by the primaries, COVID will disappear.
Yep. Stop it. You were supposed to behave yourself.
Activist. I'm just living up to the quiz.
I know you are. The quiz that I can't pronounce the words.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was probably my favorite. Another favorite was all the guests, all the stories. I was looking back. We had Paul and Produce and Rockstar.
Oh gosh,
and,
yes.
Christine talked about shopping and just fun
We've
stuff.
had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if you haven't, if you're just listening to us recently, go back because we've had over 20 guests.
Yeah.
So, and we will be bringing more. We have someone from pharmacy coming, from the meat department, an artist up in Wisconsin.
I'm very excited about the meat department one.
Yeah, we got it.
I used to work with them.
So very excited.
One of my favorite
we have another
coworkers.
person from customer service that might be coming on. So we have a lot of fun stuff. So, just
excited for the next year. See what it brings.
Yep, absolutally. So, do you have a favorite story that we told on here that you can think of? I know you said you were going to list through all, you were going to kind of listen through all of them, but I know you didn't listen through all of them.
I did not do my homework. I'm very bad at doing homework. Let's see.
So my funny that always gets me is the, I can't remember what number it is, but it's like poop in the customer service desk. And you said, I looked back at my memories from 10 years ago and my memory was, please, God, let people stop shitting all over the bathrooms.
I still say it every day. And you walk into a bathroom and there's 6 stalls. And you're like, I never go in the first one. I don't know. It's weird. I never go in the first one. So then you go to the second one and you're like, oh, shit, there's no toilet paper. So you go to the third one and you're like, fuck, there's shit all over the toilet. So you go to the fourth one and you're like, fuck, there's no toilet paper. So you go back to the third one, get some toilet paper, go back into the fourth one.
So I always go to the first one.
Do you?
Because I feel like that's the one that they always clean first.
Nobody ever
Like,
goes in the first one, so.
Nobody goes in the first one because they
Yeah.
don't choose the first one. And
Yeah.
then when the people come in to clean, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like they pick the first one to clean.
Yeah.
So I always go to the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Definitely our
super
poop
funny.
stories.
So loved
Have
all the
been a
deli
blast.
stories.
Yes.
Just loved all like our secret squirrel. Really, really enjoyed
We really
that
need to
one.
have her on for a second
Yeah.
one. And
Yeah.
now that we're doing this, everyone's like, how are you going to do your secret guest? And it's like, fucking, they're going to wear a paper bag over
Yep,
their head.
That's it. That's it.
We're going to have to like seat them over there. With a
Yeah, that's
microphone.
all. That's all. We'll just have their backs.
They can sit
Or
on the
just
couch.
come on and don't worry about it. Nothing's gonna happen.
Knock on
I didn't
wood.
freak
We
out
haven't gotten sued
yesterday
yet.
I didn't freak out yesterday that a survey came through at my work and I was like, "Oh my god, this is it. They found us." And she's like, "Knock it off."
That was and I'm like, who found us? What do you mean they found us? Like the Clopin? They found the Clopin? And I was like, stop.
So as much as I worry, she doesn't. So she's
I
the first
don't.
one I call, text, whatever. I'll just be like, "This is it. They found us. I'm gonna get fired." She's like, "We're not getting fired."
Even if they found us, even if our work finds us, we don't talk bad about our work.
we
First
love
of
our
all,
jobs. We love our
I mean, we
jobs.
have crazy stories about work, but we don't name names. We don't
super
put people
respect
down.
everyone
Yeah.
we work with. So
Yeah.
no, I know.
If
I'm
we're gonna
just-
get in trouble for anything, it's all my conspiracy theories.
which they're all right.
They're only a conspiracy till they come true. I'm telling you. It's exciting.
And you know what I love? I love that when we go somewhere and people recognize us, that they'll be like, and they'll tell a story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I just saw someone at where we used to work. I was shopping and she was like, "I can't think of the story right now, but it was so funny." And I'm sitting here working going, "Oh my gosh, I get what you're saying." It was just so fun. And then later on she sent me a message. She was like, "This is what it's about. This is what, So
so many
I love
people.
it.
I mean, we worked in retail, so obviously we have a lot of friends that worked in retail or do or used
Yeah,
to, whatever.
yeah.
But even if you work in a factory, there's
Yeah.
funny stories.
Yeah. So, someone was at a store. I can't remember who it was. This might have been Drew, but he was talking about our podcast and someone said, "I work in retail. Why would I want to listen to a retail podcast?"
It's not what we do.
Yeah.
Not what
we
we
talk
do.
about pots and pans. We talk about Super Bowl. We talk about
talk
trips
about-
that we've taken.
We talk about a lot of non-retail stuff for
Yeah.
being a retail podcast.
So it's good. It's a good thing.
Yes.
It gives you a break. And then
Yes.
we know we have some good stuff. Like today
Yes.
we talked about like being stuck, feeling stuck, and just go do it. So
I read a feed on Facebook the other day that was how fast has somebody gotten fired? Good stories.
Oh.
Some were the first day, some were within the first 10 minutes of being there. They got, how do you get fired within, I mean, unless you're going to be like, fuck this place. you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
How do you get fired the first 10 minutes you're there?
So Steve worked at a restaurant. I think the story is one night, and he had a tray, and he never worked in food service. He was young, you
Yeah.
know, and this was before he even knew what he wanted to do. And he had a tray, and I think he on a
yeah.
customer, and he was like, "Oh shit, sorry," and walked out. So I'm gonna say that was pretty fast.
I've done it. I stuck around. I remember Kevin's sister so Kevin that has come on the show, his family owns a restaurant and I worked there growing up, and one of his sisters, it was prime rib night every Saturday night. Every Thursday and Saturday was prime rib night. And I'm pretty sure it was a Saturday because she had a normal job. She was just so dedicated. She would come work at the family restaurant on the weekends too. Whole tray of prime rib, and it just, and she just like, fuck this place. Like,
and it's her own parents, right?
and then she's like, go refire that order, and just cried, "Whoa," and I was like, who cares?
It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
It happens to all of us. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, happy 1 year.
Thank you. Happy 1 year.
Yeah. And Valentine's Day. We're recording
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
It's Monday, not Tuesday.
Fuck Mondays.
Actually, my Monday wasn't too bad, but
I didn't
but
even have to work
thanks.
today, so
Really appreciate everyone hanging out with us. This has been
Yeah.
really, really fun. So, send us stories if you want, or come
Yeah.
on if you're not afraid of being
Let
on
us know.
YouTube, and come hang out with us.
I'm like,
So,
we're cool. Normally, we're even having real drinks.
well, yeah, not today though, but
just a little
get us
hungover
on a
today.
Wednesday. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
we'll have
thanks.
some sour seltzers with you.
We appreciate you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye. This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Drums, written and performed by my son, Steven. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.